Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will be continuing with Unit 5 and we are going to write an account of a true event berdasarkan kisah sebenar. So before you actually write your own kisah sebenar, we are going to look at an example of an account and we are going to discuss a few questions related to the example account. It was the third day of a marvelous holiday I was having in the island of Penang in Malaysia. The hotel was enormous, which meant the swimming pool was crowded every day. I had learned to get up early and save a sun lounger by leaving my towel on it. After that, I was usually starving, so I enjoyed a delicious breakfast in the hotel restaurant. Later, I'd go down to the pool and enjoy a swim. But on that day, as I approached the sun lounger, I was astonished to see my towel on the floor and a teenage boy on the lounger. I was furious, so I picked up my filthy towel, waved it at him and said, "What's this?" He replied that it was a towel. I explained that it was my towel and he just smiled and said, "Maybe the wind blew it off." This boy was driving me up the wall. I shouted so that everyone could hear. "It's very rude to steal someone's sun lounger, you know." Then I turned around to leave. But as I turned, I slipped and fell into the pool. Everyone thought it was hilarious, especially the boy on the sun lounger. I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. Okay, there you go. That's our example account. Have you ever experienced the same situation as this writer? Okay, what an embarrassing moment. It's like sudah jatuh ditimpa tangga. This person was already mad, was already annoyed, and then to make it worse, the writer fell into the pool and embarrassed himself in front of a lot of people. So anyway, let us discuss a few questions regarding this unfortunate event. Okay, so the first question is, when and where did the event take place? So to answer this question, we can refer to paragraph number 1. In the first sentence, actually, it took place on the third day of the writer's holiday on the island of Penang in Malaysia. Okay, now that's the setting. The second question, how did the writer feel during and at the end of the experience? So we can refer to paragraph 2 and the last paragraph to answer this question. So in the second paragraph, during the process of this event, we will find a few words which describes to us how the writer actually felt. Okay, so we find the word furious and also the idiom driving me up the wall, which describes annoyance. So I think it's fair to say that during his or her experience, the writer felt furious. Okay, and then at the end of it, he or she just wanted the ground to open up and swallow him or her. So we can say that the writer was feeling quite embarrassed, right, at the end of his or her experience. Okay, so that was how the writer felt. Now we have already covered on the feelings. Let's move on to the next question. Which tenses does the writer use? Now here I've highlighted words and also phrases which can tell us the tenses used in this account. Okay, so let's look at the first one here. Was. Was is in the past simple. Okay, and then as we read further, we will find was having. Was having is in the past continuous. And then let's read a little further. We will find and come across had learned, which is in the past perfect simple. Okay, so overall, we can say that this account was written in the past tense. Now let's move on to linking words or phrases. Okay, so which linking words or phrases does the writer use? Here I have highlighted all the linking words and phrases. We have and, after that, so, later, but, as, and then. Okay, so every time when you write, I always remind you to use linking words or phrases. Why? Because linking words or phrases helps to ensure that your writing flows smoothly. So when your writing flows smoothly, the reader will be able to follow your ideas in a more organized manner, and with that, they will be able to understand better what you are trying to say to them in your writing. Okay, so always bear that in mind. Always use appropriate and suitable linking words or phrases in your writing. All right, now that that is covered, let's move on to the last question. How does the writer manage to make the account exciting? So there are a few strategies the writer used to make his or her account exciting. The first strategy was direct speeches. Okay, so these, the ones in orange, they are called as direct speeches. A direct speech is a speech which is taken directly from the person who said it, and you transfer it into writing. That's why direct speeches are always in quotation marks. Okay, the one that you see on the left and on the right here. All right, so that's one of the strategies. Another strategy was the writer used exclamation marks, tanda seru. For what? Okay, so when you read sentences which end with a tanda seru, with an exclamation mark, in your head while you are reading it, you are reading it with a higher voice or probably even shouting. Okay, so that's the effect that the writer wants to put on you as you read that particular sentence. For example, this boy was driving me up the wall. So with this exclamation mark, we know that this writer at the moment, he or she was feeling very annoyed or very angry. If there was no exclamation mark at the end of the sentence, if the sentence ended with just a nokta, a dot or a period, then we, the readers, would also read the sentence in a monotonous way. Okay, secara mendatar. This boy was driving me up the wall. So the effect is not there. Okay, so that is the use of exclamation marks. All right, another thing that the writer did in his or her account was that he or she used a variety of adjectives: marvelous, enormous, delicious, filthy, and hilarious. These are known as strong adjectives. When you use this kind of adjectives, you can add more feeling in your writing. Okay, and the readers will be able to menghayati your work more and mendalami whatever that they are reading. Okay, and then besides that, the writer also used idioms and also expressions. For example, here we have driving me up the wall, which indicates that the writer was feeling really annoyed. And then here, wanted the ground to open up and swallow me, which tells us that he or she was feeling really embarrassed. The next thing that the writer did was, instead of using simple words, okay, the writer tried to use more powerful words which will give us the oomph. Okay, like just now I've mentioned marvelous and all the other adjectives. So instead of saying very nice, the writer said marvelous. And instead of saying very big, the writer used enormous. Okay, instead of saying very hungry, the writer said starving. Instead of saying very tasty, the writer used the word delicious. Okay, and other examples are like astonished, which also means very surprised, and furious, which means very angry, filthy, which means very dirty, and then hilarious, which means very funny. Okay, so these words, the usage of these words shows that this writer has a wide range of vocabulary, able to use words which are more powerful and has more effect on the readers. Okay, other examples, let's look at this sentence here. We were very tired of walking to the top of the hill. We were very tired after walking to the top of the hill. Okay, you are tired. Let's compare it with this other sentence. We were exhausted after walking to the top of the hill. Kita pun rasa macam we are feeling tired kan when we read the second sentence. Okay, so that is the power of words. Okay, another one. Mr. and Mrs. Wright were very pleased to win a holiday to Thailand. Compare it with this one. Mr. and Mrs. Wright were delighted to win a holiday to Thailand. So again, when we use the word delighted, we feel that we are also happy. So we can feel, we have the picture in our mind that Mr. and Mrs. Wright is smiling and probably jumping up and down out of happiness. Okay, just because of the word delighted. Okay, and the last example. Tina had forgotten to bring her gloves and her hands were very cold. Okay, very cold. Let's compare it to this one. Tina had forgotten to bring her gloves and her hands were freezing. Freezing. So we as the readers, we also kind of feel that we are cold as well. We are freezing as well, just like Tina. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. You know, with your word choice, you can actually deliver a certain kind of feeling. And when you are able to touch your readers like that, then your readers will enjoy your work more. They will definitely understand more. And when you are able to do that, to touch your readers through your work, means you are one successful writer. Okay, all right, now that was just the warm-up. Okay, now your actual task is think about a funny, embarrassing, scary or annoying experience that you have had and write about it. So using all the knowledge that I have given you in our lesson today, I want you to write your own account of a true event, a funny, embarrassing, scary, or annoying experience, whatever you like. Okay, but it must be your own, and I hope it's true. Okay, I'm so excited to read about your personal accounts. Okay, so let's recap on the things that we have learned so that you are able to write your own account after this. The first thing, when you write, follow the plan for writing a story as usual. Okay, you have to write in paragraphs, and the first paragraph should be your introduction, and the second, the third should be the content. Okay, provide details, examples, and make us understand, make the readers understand and feel what you feel at the moment. And in the last paragraph, you should conclude, you should give a closure to your story, to your account. Okay, and the second thing that you need to remember is to use past tenses, because you are talking about something that has already happened, it's already in the past. You should use past tenses. Okay, and also use linking words or phrases. Remember, it is important to help your readers to understand better. All right, and the fourth thing that you need to try to use is direct speech, just like the example, which you can also see in page 73 of your textbook. Okay, so try to use direct speeches and also exclamation marks. I'm not I'm not asking you to put exclamation marks on every single sentence, okay? Just wherever necessary or wherever which is suitable. Okay, panay-panay. Now, the next one, try to use a variety of adjectives like marvelous, what else? Enormous, delicious, furious, and so on and so forth to help to give more feeling to your work. Okay, and then the last one, use idioms. So we have covered this in our previous lesson for speaking. So I want you to apply the same knowledge in when you write your personal account. Okay, so I think that's all for our lesson today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please stay home, stay safe, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.